Intelligent options increase survivability. Oh, I'm taller. I feel taller. Oh, okay, I'll tell you anything you want to know. Okay, give up.
What's going on out there in YouTube land today? I'm with the man, the myth, the legend, internet's favorite security, personnel, tactical training, urban survivalist, increasing survivability, Dale, the founder, the CEO, the creator of Detroit Urban Survival Training, Dust, also Vipers, also, what else? You got like
Detroit Threat Management Center.
Yeah, Detroit Threat Management Center. So he's a businessman, he's a business space man. He dresses the part like I do, and
I wear this at all times, like you said. I heard you on the internet. Yes, this
got a pajama.
Is my off-duty uniform.
He's got a pajama one too.
This is what I look like when it's off-duty.
So we got him in today.
Like casual, tactical casual.
There we go. We're gonna sell him some crack on the internet like we always do. So he's gonna get a little bit cracked up here. He told us a little bit about his story. We're gonna do some muscle work on him, get him loosened up. He's actually out here with a UFC fighter this weekend, Buck. So he's the most viral UFC fighter. Had the spinning back kick KO. His last KO was pretty sick too. So these guys are teaming up for Michigan. So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, we're gonna
Buckley.
Awesome.
Go. You're gonna see him win this Saturday.
There it is.
Using Detroit Urban Survival tactics that have never been seen before. Boom. In that setting.
There it is. Beautiful. All right, Dale. So tell me a little bit about your military training. You know, what got you into the service, and what got you out of it, and basically what got you into martial arts from there.
The military was an option because at a certain junction I had no other options, so I thought, oh, military. And then I wanted to be airborne because someone challenged me in high school. This individual said I could not be airborne. So I joined so I could become airborne. And it was great. Becoming an airborne paratrooper was probably one of the greatest things ever, because what I had to do was overcome fear. By doing so, I was able to change my way of thinking and overcome any obstacle later in life. And when I was faced with life and death situations in Detroit, protecting families and stopping gangs and dealing with force-on-force violent conflicts, the fact that I had been airborne affected me in a very positive way.
Bring your right ear down towards your right shoulder. So how many years were you in the military?
3 years.
3 years? And what got you out of it?
Time to move on to a different life.
Just wasn't for you, or just
not for
run
me.
its course? Okay.
Yeah.
Back to center. Now you're an entrepreneur, so you started a business, and I've seen your Viceland interview, and I watched one of your previous employees talk about how successful a businessman you are. So one of the big things that your company has provided is like protection, security. That's kind of the bread and butter of the business aspect outside the school. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or how you built your business, I guess.
Yeah, from the school.
From the school.
Yeah, it's through the training.
And so you guys have been in business for what, 26 years, you said?
Yeah.
And obviously pretty successful to stay in business for 26 years. What
Yes.
did they say? 90% of businesses fail within the first 3 years?
5 years, and then 90% of those fail after that.
I'll bring him back this way.
Okay, I'll tell you anything you want to know. Okay, give up.
He's carrying the stress of the internet on his shoulders. Okay. And so, I listened to your No Jumper interview, which if you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's a really great interview. You're a Second Amendment guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you're always into shooting guns and...
Always.
But I listened to a couple other interviews, like you talk about, like a gun isn't always the right tool for a certain situation, right?
Absolutely not.
And one of the big things that I got from you too was like, obviously the flashy internet videos, stuff that you can do that would take a long time for other people to train for, like that gets attention, but the meat and potatoes of your training is situational awareness, teaching the average person to be able to recognize threats, and also projecting a force through your vehicles, through your team, that basically, like you said, police respond to a situation, but your guys' just presence there kind of inhibits crime a lot of times.
Well, there's an entire system on how we interact with people and criminals, whether they're criminals or not, and you have to do it in a legal format, otherwise it's counterproductive. So you have to know how to talk to people, you have to know what to say and what not to say legally, and you just understand psychology in general. So you're saying and doing things that are not offensive or considered offensive.
Right.
And so what you're seeing is how the training works in real life. So it's one thing to have training in a school setting, And it's another thing to actually use the training and then send out people in your system to go out and protect the community around the school. And that's exactly what I've done for 26 years. My 90% of the students are people that go out and protect people. And
you also
we're all alive. Everyone's alive, 100%.
So your company also volunteers free of charge to protect like stalking victims and domestic violence
and
victims,
crime witnesses,
correct?
yes. So anybody whose life's in direct danger, we don't charge them money. And that happens, to normally working class people or poor people. And there's no protection. There's no one that's going to come and help. There's no special unit. And what we do is help them communicate with their local police department when possible, and work with the local police to help provide protection for them when possible. And if not, due to exigent circumstances, we protect them. And we make sure that people stay alive and safe as they go to court, and make sure they don't get killed in their homes. If the person wants to kill them before they go to court, for example, this happens in domestic violence and in situations involving crime witnesses. So what they'll do is they'll kill the person before they go to court. Normally we're able to get to them before that happens, before they actually get shot or anything. And sometimes we actually help people after, and because they get out of the hospital and they need protection, and we make sure they don't get shot again or abducted. And we're proud of the fact that every victim that's ever come to us has been protected, and none of them are killed or missing.
Now tell me a little bit about what you and your team did during Hurricane Katrina.
First weekend of Hurricane Katrina, I took a team of volunteers down, and some of my clients that own grocery stores, gave supplies. All the men that went were volunteers. No one was paid. I wasn't paid. Approximately 72 hours we were there, self-contained. We ended up deploying out into the 9th Ward with 82nd Airborne and Navy personnel from the USS Tortuga. Our satellite maps came from cellular phones, and all cellular towers were gone. So we had no communication. We had no way to see any maps or anything. So we used to, at that point, using satellite maps. And so now we're in Katrina, and it's beautiful outside, but there's it looks like a zombie movie. It's like beautiful and no humans anywhere, and the cars are perfectly clean because the water washed them. But there's you'll notice there's fish inside of 3rd floor windows trapped inside of the window seals. You'll see fish up there. It's amazing how clean the cars were and how beautiful the weather was, but there was no people, no sounds of people for as far as you could see, even when you're driving. It was really bizarre. Every house in every direction is just destroyed, but there's people's lives in there. You see pictures, and it was just horrible. We saw bodies under the water, and they're all bloated. It was horrible. What I learned, though, was that we need to have more urban search and rescue teams trained and available and ready. And so from that day forward, I've been preparing in the future and getting plans ready for having people in different communities ready to
help out.
Yeah, in situations like that, you need people local that will know the area and they could actually respond, and they're focused not on anything other than the safety of the people.
Right.
We're there for just one reason, that's to help the family survive. And there were some definite problems in New Orleans with people surviving from people that wanted to kill them.
Sure.
There's a group called the Algiers Point Militia, and they said that they had shot 38 people, and I believe them. I met a National Guard commander. I was able to go meet with their commander. He said that right when the water started to rise, he said a bunch of guys showed up with military uniforms on at the gate, and they said, "Let us in. We want to, be a part of the rescue operation or something." So, there were some soldiers inside, and they said, "Well, who are you guys with?" And they started to open them up. All of a sudden, they realized they're not with the National Guard, and they started having a firefight right there.
Wow.
These were some guys that just try to act like they're soldiers to come in there to get the real guns from the armory, because they know inside the armory there's lots of guns, right?
They can sell them.
And wreak havoc. And these are probably gangs. Oh. And that happened right before we got there. So the guy was already paranoid. He said, "We thought you guys were the gangs or something." You can see our insignia on my Hummer and the lights, and that's what kind of changed their behavior and didn't, open fire on us or anything. But then we went down to this next location where we're supposed to meet with the SEAL team. And the reason why they had us go down there is because this Master Chief said he wanted me to help the SEAL team get into Ninth Ward. And I thought he was joking, because I was like, okay, the SEAL team does not need me to go anywhere. Okay, let's get that clear. You must be some kind of like a country guy just, fooling around, or so. I don't know who this guy is, right?
Sure.
He's like, these are my SEAL team crew. I just want to introduce you to them, and then this is where you're gonna meet. And I was like, oh, this must be real. This is serious.
Right.
All these Navy guys, right? So I go down there, and it turns out they had an entire military police unit stationed at this wherever the SEAL team guys were. There's a lock control room. The lock control room is controlled by gas, not by electricity, so it can still run even though it's off the power grid. So when my guy went over there, a little testy situation with a guy who said, he was upset because we crossed over the fence, but they weren't answering us, and so we didn't have to. What they wanted me to do was to tow the SEAL team boats over the levee so that they could get into Ninth Ward. And once we had them open the lock, then they were able to just, take their Zodiacs and go in. So that I'm glad, because we didn't really need to go down there.
Sure.
It was a really rocky area, and they wanted me to take my truck down there. And I was like, let's. And my Hummer is a H2 SUT 2005. I still have it. It's like 360,000 miles.
Oh man,
still running, same engine.
There you go.
And I just got it in 2005, and that happened.
Okay.
So it had this new car smell, and then it had dead everything smell. And imagine it's moist in the air, right? Because it's 100-some degrees in that Louisiana air, but the heat was cooking the water, and that water had bodies in it. It had fecal matter. It had fuel. So you could smell fuel. The strongest smells were like fuel, fecal matter, dead fish smell, and some other smell. And that other smell would have to be some other death kind of smell that you're not used to smelling. But I can tell you, it's horrific. And my point of saying all that is that's part of what motivated me to understand we really need to focus on preparedness for disaster situations.
Turn your head to the left for me. Keep turning. Keep going. Go a little further. Look all the way over that shoulder. A little further there. There we go. Good. And go to the right now. And back to center. And then keep going to the right. Keep going to the right. Good. And back to center. And look up to the ceiling. Get into that bone conduction now, right?
Yeah.
Reverberation. Look straight up. Keep going up. Good.
This headset's from 1980s.
There it is.
It's not bone conduction. It's 1980s. It was in Star Wars 1, according to the internet.
There we go.
It's bone conduction. Bone conduction. This is from the future.
Let's bring the arm here. You're gonna go up and down when I tell you.
Okay.
I'm gonna release the lat here.
Okay, it's released.
Not yet.
Okay.
Go up. And back down. Okay. As a physical therapist, I'm interested in the biomechanics of the human body. Can you tell me a little bit about the biomechanics of like disarming somebody, or how you use it against them?
Yes. Yeah. So biomechanically and biopsychology, biomechanics, human reaction time. This is part of what we teach, because it's the basis of how all of our techniques work, is by understanding the movement of the body and the limitation of the body, understanding kinesics, understanding how the body works in general, understanding limitations, right? So understanding where the muscle groups are and how to go around them, range of motion and how that plays a part in force, and how to use that force in order to change the position and condition and the main reason is to make sure that you're not getting involved in a strength-related battle. In real life, when you're protecting people and you're in a survival situations, you don't get to choose weight class. Right. So you may have to deal with people that are 100 to 200 pounds over your weight class, and you can't not do it. You can't. It's not an option not to win. Right. Death is the option. I had to develop a system that would make it so a small female could control and restrict the male that's much larger, or on drugs, or both.
So you said people think you're making up the term biomechanics or something.
Yeah. That's my word. I made it up. Yep. You must have heard it from me.
A doctor of physical therapy here, trained in Hawaii, will tell you that biomechanics is certainly a class he took.
It's a real world. Real word.
They were
definitely a term we use.
They sure
a lot.
They were sure I made it up. Or it doesn't have anything to do with the body.
Right.
That's my favorite. They're like, that's not to do with the body. I was like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
Bio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And biopsychology. So you understand how the brain works and how those things work together, you can avoid things like positional asphyxiation. You can avoid creating panic. You can avoid
Which has
creating
real biological effects, of course.
Yes.
Blood pressure changes,
Yes.
oxygen saturation changes,
and affects the
It's a
adrenaline
sympathetic effect, yeah.
and distorts your brain. You know,
Yeah.
so your brain will become distorted just because the pain
speeds
or the
of time,
fear.
slows down time.
Yes, that's
You
right.
never know how you're going to react if you haven't trained it. I'm naturally a freezer,
Yeah,
right? So you fight, flight, freeze.
yeah.
So I'm naturally a freezer and an evaluator, and that's something that if I really wanted to get into things, I would have to train out of myself, right?
Correct. Right. I'm scared of heights. Right. So how do I jump out of airplanes and helicopters? I allow myself to be reprogrammed. If you're going to do something that's dangerous and life altering and it could mean that you're going to die, that's not a good business.
Right.
So you have to do it for another reason. And that only reason that you're ever going to go protect other people and you're ever going to be successful at really protecting people is if you love people.
Sure.
You can only protect what you love.
Right.
And that's the part that's missing in people, especially when you saw those Viceland and Vice
Right.
shows earlier. I was like, so tell us about your business idea about going into the hood, where it's very dangerous, people get killed all the time, and you somehow made money.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, that's not how I did it. I went there to help the people, and it turns out there's rich people that are attached to all people in all situations. And so when you keep people alive and safe, the regular working class people, the poor people, when they're alive and safe, the rich people are naturally going to benefit.
Sure.
All you do is make sure that they convert that wealth to you,
Right.
and they'll keep it going. So all I do is make sure they understand the wealth path was we protected the working class and the poor people, people with jobs, and that's why you get all that money. So I can continue that, but you need to pay me
Right.
for that. I did it for free. Now you saw the results, and I expect you, if you want those results now, rich persons, now you pay for it. I'm not going to charge the poor people, and the people that like the senior citizens, the single moms, the families are being terrorized by individuals and gangs. We're not charging them any money.
Right.
There's no. How can you do that? How can you charge some money and someone's going to kill you? Oh, listen, some guys are going to kill you. What's your credit?
Right.
Run your credit. Everything's fine. I got a whole protection team. I'll send this guy over to your house. He can die for you. Did I mention you might die?
Right.
Like, yeah, people die
Yeah.
protecting other people. So he signed his contract. We paid him, so he's ready to die for you.
Right.
That's not a good plan.
Yeah.
So
Probably not going to get a lot of applications.
he's like, I'm sorry, did you say die? You said,
I'm out, yeah, that's
you said
not
protect for die?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, how did we cash that in again?
Yeah, they've been listening to the 95 Biggie Smalls album too much then, you know? Yes.
Remember this, the only way you're going to protect someone is if you think of them like your family. You have to look at people as an extension of your human family.
Right.
And if you do that, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to let somebody kill my family, so I'm going to go over there and help them. And that's what makes it possible if you go and stop violent predators. Because violent predators are not heroes. They have a prey drive.
Right.
So as long as they believe there's prey, they'll prey upon it. What you do if you want to stop them, you make them believe there's no opportunity. So once they believe there's no good opportunity to get in and they can't get out, they don't go in there.
Sure.
And that's what we do for communities and corporations. We harden the target by making them believe there's not a good way for you to get in and get out. We respond quickly, 100% response to or whatever calls. And if you're not one of our clients and you call us and say, listen, I think someone's suspicious in this area, we're coming anyway.
Right.
We don't care if you paid us or not.
May avoid some of these deadly, police interactions that,
Yes.
they come up and they don't understand what's happening. Maybe there is somebody mentally ill or something, and then we end up with these news stories. So
That's right.
having somebody in there that isn't trained to use lethal force, they can kind of communicate with them, maybe can bridge the gap, or even just move them, talk to them, tell them to leave before it escalates to that situation.
Yeah, in our situation, we're trained for all levels of force. I had to train my staff to believe that force and violence is wrong.
Right.
Now, the degree of wrong is based on how violent it got. So if you're really good, you were able to create non-violence.
Sure.
If you're excellent, you can create non-adversarial interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like one guy was 6'8", 380 pounds, looks like he had dreads, so looked like a predator, just like the predator guy from the movies. Scary looking guy, terrorizing people at a drugstore. And he was at a strip mall. So the drugstore calls the police, and the guy's still standing in the front, terrorizing the families, not letting anyone in and out of the store. The people that own this national drugstore contact the owners of the property. They tell them, if you do not get this guy away from or figure out how to get the police here, or whatever you got to do, because we have people trapped in our store in broad daylight and they can't get out. This 6'8" guy is screaming he's going to kill anyone that comes towards him. And the police are not here and they're not showing up. The families are trapped inside and we can't get new customers from the outside in. So they said, if you don't fix this, we're going to remove that store, and it's like $50,000 a month, or you're probably getting paid or something.
Right.
And so that company that owns the strip mall is one of our clients. So they call us because we work for the property owner. The property owner wants us to go over there to solve the issue. He does not expect us to go over there and create lawsuits and death. So when my guy gets over there, I send an Italian Marine. He's about 6 feet tall, right? Regular, moderate sized guy, athletic, but he's an ex-Marine.
Subscaps here.
As soon as he pulls up, this giant, scary looking guy looks at him and says, "Don't get out of the car. Get out of the car."
So you're gonna go
this way.
in and out.
He says, "If you get out of the car, it's going down." And he goes, "I'm not leaving because the satellites can read my." He said, "I'm not leaving the front of this drugstore."
Keep going.
He said, "Because the satellites can read my brain waves." So this kid that I trained, who was an ex-Marine, he says, "Okay, I'm not getting out of the car. I just want to tell you one thing, sir." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Look up right now. You see there's a hole in the awning?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Look across the street. There's no awning. There's no hole in that awning over there. It's an abandoned building." And he goes, "Go look it out." And takes off running. So he fixed the whole problem in 30 seconds of a conversation.
Right.
No violence. Even though this guy was threatening to kill everyone.
Sure.
6'8", 350 pounds.
Distracted him and
Yes.
focus on something else.
Yes. And what he did was
Instead of escalating, instead of running up, putting a gun on him, like, "Hey, get out."
join, mirror, placate. We use a form of what we call tactical psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Join, mirror, and placate.
Okay.
And we advocate for the person. We actually build a trust bond with people and then get them to believe and inspire them to change rather than intimidate them. So we create this trust bond so you can get them to do what you want them to do because it's best for them. You're not going to have them do something that's not appropriate.
Right.
But you got to focus on positivity, right? And so that means good communication. So what's better is a good communicator than it is to have someone who can fight and beat people up. And, you guys are like, "Oh, my cousin's come back from the war. He was a good sniper."
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, we don't really have sniper positions. But if you have a good cousin that's a good counselor, bartender, a good counselor,
That helps.
we got something. We got a position for them. Managing a human threat
Isn't just physical.
Yeah, requires you to be able to communicate.
So I think loosey-goosey thoughts there, Bill. Well, let's get this a little tighter. A little blood restriction there? You okay?
I'm good.
You good? Oh, there we go. Oh, where'd you feel that?
Oh, lower spine, middle.
There we go.
Oh, I'm taller. I feel taller.
All right, let's get your neck while we got you here. So what I want you to do is wiggle your right foot just a little bit. There we go. And this time I'm gonna have you wiggle your right foot. Perfect.
Home conduction still in place. Oh!
Make sure that your trademark pose is getting full finger extension there. Let's flip you over on your stomach, Dale. Slanging the crack in Vegas. All right, let's get it.
Let's just lift the leg off the table.
Lift up.
Yeah, keep it straight.
Yeah. Hip extension as high as you can. Okay. The other side.
Bring it down. Right leg, same thing. Easier on that side?
Yeah, easier on the right side.
Left's a little bit stuck.
Yeah. True.
So if you guys aren't subscribed to this channel already, Dust, Detroit Urban Survival Training, Threat Management, I'll link it below. Make sure to go subscribe. Follow him on Instagram. He's kicked off a TikTok. So no more TikTok for Dale, but follow him on the other social media platforms.
Apparently we're still on TikTok, though.
Oh, are you? But it's not you.
That's not me.
Okay. Make sure you follow Dr. Gamero as well. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Where are you biggest? On TikTok? Instagram.
TikTok, yeah. TikTok. Then Insta.
I kept calling it Tic Tac for a while.
Tic Tac. Try this one again.
There we go.
Nice.
Feel the difference there?
Yes.
Easier.
Yes, and the right side's usually more painful. Usually have a serious pain on the right lower side right there.
Generally, you get that right there?
Right there, yeah, a little lower.
Mid back here. Big deep breath. And blow it all the way out. Very good. And one more here. Big deep breath. And all the way out. And pretty good on that one. Check that right one too. It does feel like it's sticking up a little bit. Even though the motion was good, it feels like it's kind of posterior.
Yeah. There's pain on the right side.
It gets right aside joint pain. Feel that?
Yeah, it's more prominent.
Yeah. Don't too many head kicks.
Yeah. Throws and judo.
Ah, yes.
Dr. Gamero's trained in Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, yeah?
Taekwondo.
Nice.
What martial arts have you done?
Oh man, Taekwondo was Taekwondo. TKD was my first. Budokan and Jungdequan, other styles taught there. American style wrestling before that as a kid, and I started around 10 years old with TKD, and then judo and
JKD.
JKD later as an adult.
Later.
Yes. And then
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
I don't know what that. These guys are the martial beings, not me. All right, try that hip extension again.
Raise it.
Nice. How'd that feel?
Good. Left side's really good.
Feels open?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go on your side facing towards your right. Just gonna come this way. So I'm gonna gap that aside joint when we go. Just slide all the way to me. This leg's gonna go there. Big deep breath. Very good. Go right this way. So you've been adjusted before then?
A long time ago, yeah.
Not recently? No. Tell.
I do these like stretches like this every day.
Oh, nice. And big trips to the top a lot of times already.
It helps.
Those are good stretches.
It helps lower
Lower back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lay flat there. So, let's just scoot back that way just a little bit. See that support. All right, we're gonna do a little psoas release. So you're gonna bring this knee up, and then you're gonna go down and out, and keep doing that motion. See, we were talking earlier, like a lot of people, are mistaking, what you're doing in the real world with sport, sport combatives and things like that. So, we talked about, going into the cage with a ref and a weight class, and the real world doesn't really work that way. And so, trying to judge your tactics and really all the things, because you're really just a holistic organization, it looks like. It's not just tactics, a lot of it's psychology and, a lot more other things involved.
Which developed from using tactics in real life.
Sure.
So once you understand,
Learning when not to use them, right? Which is a lot of it.
Yeah, there's that too. Exactly. When
And then what sport techniques? So, for example, if there's 5 guys around on a street, pulling guard is probably not the best idea.
right, two, 3 guys, right?
But one-on-one no-gi in the gym over here, you're going to beat up a boxer probably, right?
Yeah. Right.
So it just depends on the situation.
It really does.
There's no you're not wearing a gi, so your lapel choke isn't going to work very well, at the supermarket when somebody's trying to jack your wallet.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is really dependent upon weight class and intentions. Whoever has the most serious intention is going to win. So the one that's there to kill,
willing to escalate,
is the one that's going to win, even though their person might be a better fighter.
Right.
So the person with the highest level of commitment is the winner.
Right.
But what made me get involved in all of this was the fact that I knew that as a private investigator, I got a chance to see that people don't know the law.
Right.
And I got a chance to see that we still have ideas, we just don't know the law. So we have martial arts ideas, we have self-defense ideas, but we don't know what we should say and what we should not say. What's the order which we'd have to follow? How do we articulate things to the police when they get there? How do we make a report on the phone? When do we call the police? For what kind of situations, and what should we say and not say?
Right.
No one teaches that, right?
Okay.
And so I thought this would be great if people knew this. Regular people need to know this, right? Not super fighters, but regular people need to know, what do I do to keep myself safe and know the law? And so that's what made me want to create a business for that. But this girl got chased off a bridge in Detroit in front of a crowd of people, and that's what made me change from thinking about business to thinking about people and their needs. And so there was reported by the news that there was a woman, mother, her daughter was in the car with her, teenage daughter, and 3 men came up to the car with crowbars in front of a crowd of people on this bridge. It's the Balal Bridge. You would often get trapped on the weekends on the bridge, people hanging out. They trapped this mother and daughter, and they grabbed the mother out of the car by taking crowbars to the door, opened it up, and then stripped her clothes off of her. Then she jumped off the bridge to evade these 3 men in front of a crowd of people. And the news media said that the crowd was cheering as she was being chased by these men to her death. And I thought that was a lie. I really did. I said, there's no way a group of men are, this is America. No one does that.
What's that affect your psychology major? What's when that case where they were running through and nobody helped?
Individuation.
Bystander effect? Or?
Yeah.
And individuation.
Oh, somebody's going to do something.
And then nobody does anything.
Yeah, individuation. And this is what I learned a lot about psychology, was real life application. And the only way I could learn how to make things better was to understand psychology more. And so I didn't know psychology was that big a deal. And I had to study it in order to understand what the problems were, really, because they're behavioral, right? And then if we're going to make a change, it's behavioral. Go here.
Commander Brown, Dr. Gumac. Nicely strong through that.
Yeah, pretty good.
Let's do this side.
He's got too much power in his arms.
Relax here first. Pull back.
There we go.
Oh, let's go. Felt that.
Lean back.
Check the technique.
Deep breath in. And out.
On the top one.
Go.
I got the middle back on my table, so just.
Okay.
This one.
Yeah. Look up. Lean back a little. Deep breath in. And out.
Well, you got him there. Takes a while.
I heard something. I heard something.
There we go.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Much better. I usually have a lot of pain in general, so this is already feeling better. My lower, this area right here, I just have constant pain in this, so this is already feeling better. My range of motion, my neck, I just don't have good range here.
Yeah. So it feels like it's doing better there.
Yeah, I don't know what that's wrong with.
Okay. So let's go right here. I'm gonna be tilt to the right.
Tilt.
Tilt to the right. And back to center. And then again to the right. What are some other things you'd like to kind of clarify for all the people like watching online?
That our training is based on 26 years of evolution.
Keep going.
So, bloodshed, injuries, learning. So you can't replace that with conjecture. And I wrote a book about it, so it'll be coming out this year.
Nice.
And so you can read about where the training came from.
Okay.
Like, why do we teach what we teach?
Okay.
So when you disarm knives and guns from people in real life, it's not the same thing as theory. And when you have to choke people on the concrete, and you also have to make sure that the skull doesn't smash on the ground, because that's the end of your freedom. You have a different perspective on training and the purpose of your training. Nice.
That's moving.
Yeah.
What's coming? It's like an electric fence, you know, you're about to get shot.
Nope, watch this, grab hard. So if I try to get free, get free. What if I come here, Mom?
Get strong in.
No, you got it though, you did it.
Get strong
As you
in.
can see, he learned it in about 2.5 seconds.
That's right.
I tried to grab him back.
I've been training.
He defeated it. He defeated it in 2 seconds. I grabbed it. Look at that. So apparently it doesn't take a lifetime of training.
Just biomechanics.
Yeah, just understand biomechanics and learn quickly. But you notice how people say things like, well, you got to watch the videos, you got to train forever, and then you can learn that stuff like you. No, that's not true. I just showed you. You learned it right there.
Yeah.
Same thing with gun disarms. And guess what? People do gun disarms every day successfully with no training. Okay, there's active shooters have been defeated by many school teachers and kids and other people that just needed to survive. Police officers lost their guns to people that were not trained. And police officers have taken guns from people that instead of shooting them. So police officers have disarmed many people without shooting them. And you don't hear about those too often, but it's true. The police are literally going up without actual training for that specifically.
Sure.
But because they just, the police officers dedicated to safety, go, the person has the gun, they just grab the gun and take it from them.
Right.
And that actually happens a lot. They just don't, you don't hear about that in the news a lot because it's not sensational.
Right.
I mean, to me, I think it's great.
Right.
But since no one died, they don't really you look that up. They don't really put that out there like that.
And so what's interesting is obviously just being around martial arts a little bit, I knew, watching you do wrist locks, thumb locks, shoulder locks. Like I know all that stuff works. So the only thing that I was like, I don't know about the gun stuff because I just don't have any experience in that. But everybody that's tested you has basically vouched for you. So they were all skeptics.
Except the kid. There's a kid. the kid that goes like this.
Well, the Penguinz guy was talking a lot of trash about you, and they were like, well, maybe Dale could do it, but nobody else.
No,
could.
so they were like, okay.
They're like, he's Superman.
Okay, first of all, before I even went down there and I talked to Penguinz on the phone, I was like, first of all, I saw you guys. You guys were disarming each other using our techniques by accident. They had to reshoot to make it not work because they were instantly, they would go, okay, so you're gonna shoot me, and he goes, oh damn, wait, okay, were you trying to shoot me?
Right.
Shoot, man, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, and he disarmed the gun. He literally took it out of the battery.
Yeah.
Just playing around, and they were trying not to.
Right.
So they were accidentally disarming
Right.
the weapon. Then another one was in the car. Mm-hmm. They were like, okay, this is so dumb. Dale's so dumb. Watch this. The gun's to my head. Like, this is really gonna work before you can shoot me. Dude, you're supposed to shoot. He goes,
yeah, but Granny got him. Granny got him.
Yeah, Granny.
Shout out to Granny Smith.
Granny is so dangerous. She got me with a grenade without taking the pin out. Now that takes talent.
Shout out to Granny. If you guys haven't seen our video with Granny, we have it down below.
Oh, we had a lot of shout outs to Granny. Like 10,000 people were like, yes, Granny, awesome.
Finally got him.
My God,
That's
just
funny.
fan mail.
And Snoop, right? Snoop was kind of saying some stuff, but he was obviously impressed. I heard something about some potential collaboration with you guys.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, he was a serious doubter. He didn't believe in any of our techniques.
Right.
He was like, what is this foolishness? So we talked, went through, told him, our history and, where we came from, first of all. And then he said, okay, so we did the tactics, and we, the gun disarms, the shotgun disarm, knife, he did everything. And he was like, wow, I can't believe it. And he was like, you know what? We need to make a TV show about this. Because I told him how we learned it, the real life using these things.
Sure.
And he was like, we should do a TV show. Just tell the stories then and tell people what they can do to protect their lives. And I agree. And that's what we should do. We should have, that's what I'm using the media for, the social media for, is to get the word out. The presence
of this.
Because there's women, children, there's elderly people that are saving their own lives every day. There was a woman, a librarian, who saved FDR. But we don't know that. She literally took an active shooter's gun while he was shooting people around FDR. She took it, grabbed it, pulled it down, and then other men helped her after that. But she's the one who actually stopped the gun from firing, pulled it down, and saved FDR. A female librarian with how much combat training did she have? Oh yeah, they didn't have TV shows back then. Right. Okay, so she had no idea what to do, but except she just had to save the president. Right. And then there was an off-duty Marine that saved President Ford. There was also Secret Service that saved President Ford, again, from another female attacker that was armed with a pistol. In both cases, they were disarmed. They didn't shoot the women, right? They just took the guns. So it just shows you that even though Secret Service has the best guns in the world, how often do they have to use those guns to protect people? Right. When was the last time you heard of a Secret Service shootout? Right. I'm not saying they don't ever happen. I'm saying we never hear about them because they're not in high-profile situations protecting high-profile people, and they are successfully protecting high-profile people around the world, 24 hours a day. And they do that because what they do is, and that's what we use as a lot of the concepts that I learned at the Executive Protection Institute. Our instructors were like FBI, Secret Service, things like that. And what I did learn from this school was how the Secret Service, the thought process, and how they believe in creating conditions where things don't happen. And so I wasn't aware of that. I thought in terms of protection as being forceful, but really it's about procedures that prevent contact with conflict. And that's what you really want to do. You want to do, so many pre-checks and so many things that interfere with conflict that you don't have conflict. Right. And then, like, for example, in the neighborhoods that we're in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, our vehicles come through with lights on, white, extremely bright strobe lights. And then people say, well, gosh, why would you do that? The criminals can see you from a mile away. Yes, they can.
That's the point.
That is the point.
To get them out of there. You're not an undercover cop trying to catch somebody.
Correct.
You're trying to push threats away.
Right. And the lady said to me one day when I was driving by, she goes, yeah, you guys don't do nothing. Right. This is one of the residents.
That's the point.
You guys don't do nothing. I said, ma'am, what do you mean? She goes, all you guys do is drive around. I said, ma'am.
You're literally shining sunlight on everything, right?
Yeah. Well, what I did was so what you're doing is you're denying the opportunity for them to lay in wait, to hunt, right? They're predators. Right. They need to know that this is a good place to prey upon the families.
Right. There's no witnesses and there's nobody around that might do something.
Yeah, or that you can't respond quickly. They'll do things like check, set the alarm off and see how long it takes you to get there. Right. They'll, create a disturbance and to see if you'll respond and see what you'll do when you respond. Right. Just to see. Right. And then see
Girls are smart, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're extremely smart. So that's the thing that also people don't understand.
And they should be putting that talent to starting a business, buying NFTs, or maybe whoever sponsors this video.
Yes, and you will see us in Metaverse this year. Metaverse.
It's going down.
Detroit Urban Survival Training is in the Metaverse.
There you go. All right, guys. Make sure you go show him some love on social media. He's got his book coming out soon. Check in the UFC cage also.
Yeah.
There's a big surprise coming for you. Show him some love on social media. Like I said, Dale's a good guy. He's really trying to help out the community.
26 years we've been protecting people successfully, and every kind of person, poor people, rich people, and we have never failed. So everyone who's come to us for assistance for 26 years, prosecutor's office, shelters, domestic violence units, and people just heard about us through the media. All the women, all of the single moms, the senior citizens, the families, we protect everyone, every kind of religion, every kind of age group. If they have someone who wants to kill them, then we provide them with force protection. We physically go out and protect these people, and we extract them from their homes if they need to be extracted, and there's no other way to do that, to get them to safety. And that's what we are proud of, that we've been able to do for people for the past 26 years, and we share that with you, things we've learned online, because the goal is to make as many people safe as possible. So what you're learning from our videos is what we learned will help you make better decisions and increase your survivability.
And his videos are grabbing your attention, and what that means is go actually try the class out, pressure test in real life. I think you'll be impressed. So go show him some love. We'll see you guys on the next one.